Welcome to the Wacky Wednesday show. I am Jets Chaos, aka Jeremy, aka Snacks, aka Egghead, and aka whatever you want to call me. But here we are sitting in the middle of the week, hump day. And what does that mean? That means it's time to turn away from Denver and what happened there and do what I think we've done early this whole week, which is look ahead to New England. And we're going to do that. But one of the things we're really going to do is take a deep look. We're going to put under the microscope our new running back, James Robinson. And we are going to do that when we get back from this. I would regret it if people look back at the first episode and you weren't on it.
Yeah, well, I like that. It's called forward thinking.
One of the worst beats in the world. We do. Our beat is horrible.
Connor could shove that article up his ass.
And then I went to that game and I was like, this is the greatest team I've ever seen in my life. I'm a Jet fan. This is going to be the greatest run ever. Yeah.
No, because if they take Aquanu, I'm not complaining.
Joe Douglas is the king of keeping shit close to the vest.
A 2, a 4, and a 6 for Darnold?
Did the Jets really ruin Sam Darnold? Or did Sam Darnold just suck all along and we were just trying to talk ourselves into it?
And Hamilton is a player who can potentially make a very big impact.
And suddenly here we are today. You can't get rid of him.
Right, it's like a plague.
Joe Douglas was hired because he's not those general managers.
Okay, Luscious.
Somebody is going to fall just like Elijah Moore did, just like Michael Carter did.
You know, what would, if you had one sentence to say to Joe Douglas, what would you say? So you would say, you had me at hello, and then give him a big old wet one right on the smacker.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Let's get to some comments real fast before we start getting people on board. S.I. Thompson, or should I say Cy Thompson. The signing of Robinson was a masterstroke work of a GM who is in sync with the pulse of his organization. Joe Douglas switches from not needy to buyer in an instant. Yes. And we will talk about that. It was a beautiful, beautiful move by a wonderful GM. Harlan Abraham is in here. He wants to know what my T-shirt says. If he's talking to me, this is just a work T-shirt that I actually helped design. It is a peer ambassador shirt from my school that I give to the kids who are leaders in the school. And I get one too. Eminon, my buddy, my boy, he says, let's effing go. And that's right. Dark Soldier, what is up, brother? Good to see you here. And we got, who else is here? We got Clutch in the house. Can't wait to see more of his content on his channel. Make sure you check it out. It's the Kansas City Chiefs, but he's really good. The kid's good. He's good. He's good. Kid's good. This kid Robinson can play. He's a baller. Well, we're going to go over that. We're going to take a look at that. Sneakers to Boots. Long time no see, my friend. I'm so glad you're able to be here live. It's good to see Sneakers, man. We just need Fraggle D or Friggle D or whatever his name was. But yeah, man, we're going to have a good time. And Green Dog is here. We're just so quiet. We need to acknowledge this head on. Yeah, we'll talk about that situation a little bit too. I mean, it's hard not to. It was good to see. It was good to see. You know, you don't want to like give him the cold shoulder when he comes back, right? I'm sure the conversation will happen, but I like that the offensive coordinator, you know, our LaFleur gave him like that little hug thing, and they're saying that they believe he's going to play hard. Look, if the kid plays hard, let's just hope he balls out and we put this all behind us. I think New England is a team we could pass against. I think we can bring back the passing game a little bit, and hopefully Elijah Moore will go off, and that'll put the whole thing to bed. What's going on, Dave Gerard? Good to see you. Good to see you. And that reminds me, I'm not alone here. I don't do this show by myself. You guys know that. The Wacky Wednesday show has two people that run it, me and my co-host. So let's get that ball rolling. Let's get him in here. You know we're going to give him some music. On Monday, for him, early on, it was no victory. My man was jumping off cliffs. And for good reason. Our star offensive lineman, our franchise-changing running back, all went down. And Y2K not feeling good about it at all. But then Joe Douglas pulled out his magic bag and said, can I do it again? Can I fleece yet another organization? Can I take this dark feeling of loss of our best talent and patch you up and make you feel just a little bit better? And it worked because Y2K99 said yes! And he hit the books, and he studied, and he looked at the stats, and he realized that we were alive again. Now, let me introduce to you the hot dog eating, the pizza loving, the Virginia Fan Club presidenting, the fundraising for the club, prize giving 50-50 raffle, picks the best bar with the best wings, welcoming the greatest co-host in the world! Y2K99!
Take me home, country roads from Denver, Colorado, because we want to be back at MetLife Stadium. You know, there's an old phrase that says, keeping up with the Joneses. Well, this week, it's the New England Joneses that got to keep up with Zach Wilson, with Michael Carter, with Carl Lawson, with Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner, Robert Saleh. We could run it all the way down the line to Brandon Eccles and Kenny Yeboah for all I care. Because guess what, New England? You're on the clock. This is our game. This is our time. I don't care how many games in a row it's been. It's been 23 regular season games since we beat the New England Patriots. But that's neither here nor there. This Sunday, 1 o'clock, it's 0. It's 0. We go head-to-head. We're 2 games up on them currently, and we prove all the doubters wrong. Just because they have a logo that has 25 years of an evil reign of terror, that don't mean nothing in 2022. This is our game. We have the chance. We have the talent. We have the opportunity. And as Herb Brooks said in the movie Miracle, now go out there and take it.
I love it and love it. And Cy Thompson, I'd love to see you here, man. I've seen you during game days on Green Bean's channel. Glad he sent you here. I don't know if what did he say? Go over there, man. Check out Chaos, man. You'll like him. He works there with Adam. I got another friend there too that's gonna pop into the show. But whatever he said, thanks for being here. Sneakers to boots. I thought Moore was supposed to speak to the media today, to be honest. That's what Saleh said during his press conference. He said, ask him. And I thought that he was honestly going to speak, but I think he's going to speak real soon, to be honest with you. I think that's coming. Just say a few more people that popped in. Twisted's in the house. What's up, brother? Hank G is in the house. What's up, brother? And just because we're doing the intros, we got 2 parts to this show. Adam is going to, as I said in the intro, he did a lot of homework. Got a lot of stats, and we're gonna learn a lot more about James Robinson from the statistical standpoint. And then Dom C is going to take us to look at the tape, the film, and we're gonna get to look at him play and see what makes him so good and why he won't fit into our offense. So without further ado, let me give him a little bit of love. So this man is not only a diehard Jets fan, he's a season ticket holder. And he's generous with his tickets, with his parking passes, because he loves his Jet family. So he shows generosity to all. And not only does he do that for us, but he breaks down tape So we get to see our players and how they do and what they do well and what they don't do well. And he gives us the inside look. He shares his expertise for nothing but for the love of doing it, for the love of football, the Jets, and for whatever other reasons he has. Please welcome the New Jersey boy, the green bean friend, the beer drinking, punch drinking, seltzer drinking, Pepsi drinking, Coke drinking, Scotch drinking, bourbon drinking, the greatest buddy, and his YouTube content supporter in the world. Tom C.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's up?
Oh, what do we have here?
I'm showing my my souvenir Nick Mangold Ring of Honor cup from the Cincinnati game, which we lost, but I'll drink to that.
We've lost the game this year? I can't
We
remember.
did. It's been a long time, right? It's been a
Wow.
long time. Thank God. Thank God. It's been a while since we said that, right?
Boy, yeah. I don't think we can have any more Ring of Honor games. I think that might be what the problem is. So
I think we have two more.
I know that's the problem. No.
Vervain, you're not scared. You're traumatized like the rest of us.
We all are. We're all
We're
scarred.
all traumatized.
Dude, deep down, the reason why I go so hard with this bravado is because deep down I'm terrified of what could happen.
Right. There's nothing scarier than when New England comes to town. And you can't really blame us.
Adam, your scream was great during Jeremy's intro. Thanks, some guy. Appreciate it.
So, guys, here we are. First, a lot of people still asking about Elijah Moore. I just put a video out about it today. It's up. It's a hot topic. I think Buffalo put up a video and hit 10,000 views. I'm like, I don't know how that guy does it, but he's amazing. Look, he's back. He's practicing. I think they're treating it with kid gloves. We'll see how it goes. There's a chance he's going to ball on Sunday. There's a possibility he's going to ball out on Sunday because I don't think we're going to go forever not passing the ball. I mean, Green Bay, Denver, it can't be I don't see it being every week. I think we're going to get our wide receivers back in the game. I don't see why it wouldn't be this week. So I'm expecting to see at least Elijah Moore is going to have the opportunity, and we'll see if he can make something happen. What do you think, Dom?
I guess to be determined. I think Elijah Moore is going to come in and, he's going to keep his mouth shut and he's going to do his part on the field. I think all the transgressions that has happened over the past week, I think he's got to show and he's got to earn some of the respect back from the locker room. So I personally don't expect to hear much from Elijah Moore throughout the rest of the season. I think Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, made the point. He ain't going nowhere. Now, whether that's said with crossed fingers behind their back, I don't, that's only soon to be told because trade deadline's right around the corner. But I have a hunch that he's going to be here. He's going to be a part of this offense. I don't know if he's going to be as big of a part of the offense as he would prefer or his agent would prefer, but I think you're gonna come in, you're gonna see Elijah Moore, do work and keep his mouth shut. And then what happens in the offseason happens in the offseason. Who knows?
What do you think, Adam?
For me, it's just something that we're going to have to watch over the course of this week. But I think a lot of it is going to be affected by if Corey Davis is healthy. He did not practice today. I've seen some questions today in regards to Corey Davis because he is far and away Zach Wilson's favorite target. Mm-hmm. And now, if Zach Wilson doesn't have his, I hate to use the word security blanket for a wide receiver, but in this case, he very well may be that. It's going to force him to look at different targets. My concern is and I talked about this on last night's show when I was on with Gunny on Situation Report. I hope Zach doesn't have it in his mind that he has to feed Elijah in order to keep him happy. We know one of the issues with Zach is that he has a tendency to get locked in on one receiver. I don't want that to be Elijah Moore, especially if their idea of using Elijah Moore is still using him on these go routes and sending him 30, 40 yards down the field, especially against good man cover cornerbacks. That's not how Elijah Moore is going to be a successful wide receiver in this league. So I'll be very interested to see what this game plan looks like. A lot of people have been talking about switching up Wilson and Moore, putting Wilson more outside and more in the slot. I would like to see a whole lot of that this week. Let's see what happens.
So can I talk to that point real quick?
Yes.
Because I disagree with it. And here's why. The one knock for all the Garrett Wilson truthers and the non-believers who maybe have become believers, we know what the guy is. He's electric, he's shifty, he's he has phenomenal jumping skills, great body control, this and that. But the one knock on Garrett Wilson, even when he was in college and even coming out of the pros, coming into the pros, the one knock is that he struggles getting off the line against press man coverage. I can't see, especially New England now, they play a multitude of defensive fronts, but I highly expect them, the defenses that have been very successful so far against the Jets have locked up the outside in man coverage, right? So I expect them to press the outside a lot, and I just don't think that's Garrett Wilson's forte. Garrett Wilson needs help getting off of the line. So, keeping him in the slot or having him in, having him at, Z and putting him in motion so he doesn't have to, set up and set that press man coverage and fight the bump. I think that's the best strategy for Garrett Wilson to succeed. Now, if there's any flaws in the way this team construction is that we don't have that one guy. Corey Davis is probably the best, but we don't have that one guy who can really fight and get off that press man coverage too well. Elijah does it better than Garrett Wilson, but he's still not perfect at it, again, because he's been in the slot and he played inside in college a lot. I mean, he was all over the place in college, but even him on the outside, he tends to, if you watch him set up the defense, or if you watch Elijah Moore when he's running his routes, he always goes with a drop step first, right? So his first step is backwards, and that's how he starts. The route. It's not ideal. It works, but it's not ideal. That's the one part of this team construction, especially at the wide receiver set, is that we don't have the one guy that can defeat press man off the line too much. Corey Davis is probably our best, and even he struggles at times. But it's definitely not Garrett Wilson. And again, I love Garrett Wilson, and I'm glad Garrett Wilson's on our team, and I'm glad I get to cheer for him for the next umpteen years, But I'll call a spade, and that's not his strong point. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and I think that's where he struggled way back since college.
Okay, so let's hope Corey Davis plays. Now, we know that Belichick is going to play us to our weaknesses. So you could probably expect there's going to be a lot of man-to-man, and there's going to be press because this is a guy who makes game plans specifically for who he's playing. But at the same time, and we'll talk about this later, what do we do to counter that? Knowing that they're probably going to do that, the question becomes, okay, so what do you do? How do you combat that? But before I do that, I have to thank Cy Thompson. You just joined joined the party. Green Bean sent you here. You come in and you watch the show, and we're happy to have you. And you give me this wonderful super chat. So I want to say thank you. Incredibly generous of you. And I appreciate it a lot, brother. And let's see. Robinson is a beast. What a mistake the Jags made by letting him go to us. I know I can't understand it myself. Watch the tape. Well, we're going to watch the tape. He
He's
kinda
like a
reminds-
psychic. It's like he already knew.
He kind of reminds me of Brees 2.0. Thoughts? Well, I'm going to save that for when we start playing the tape, but I think we can quickly weigh in with Dom, like before, without going too much into it, because we're going to review film. Would you compare him is he have a lot in common with Brees Hall? Are there similarities? Can you call him a 2.0, or is he more like what kind of receiver, running back does he remind you of?
So I don't think it's fair to compare James Robinson to Brees Hall, and just because I think that Brees Hall in 7 games set the bar for Jets fans very, very high. James Robinson is a very good running back. He's an excellent running back. All right. Brees Hall is elite, and I think there's a clear difference. So I want to say that right from the get-go, and this is my opinion only. I don't think we can expect James Robinson to replace Brees Hall. I don't think you're going to find many people in the NFL that can replace Brees Hall. Okay, that's my honest opinion on it. Now, can he complement our offense? Absolutely. I think personally he's made, lock, stock, and barrel for the wide zone blocking scheme that our Shanahan style, our Shanahan-esque offense runs. He's physical. He's has that one cut. He runs downhill, very similar to Brees and Michael Carter. He has phenomenal contact balance, right? He's always falling forward, can keep keeps his feet under him even when his body is off balance. He's not nearly as explosive or nearly have the top end breakaway speed that Brees Hall has. And I know Adam has some stats, so maybe you have his, because I don't know off the top of my head what his true times were coming into college, or coming out of college, so on and so forth. But I know it's not 4.3 like Brees. That's for sure.
So that brings up a good point. Adam did a lot of research and has some stats for us. We could start breaking it down by the numbers now.
Mm-hmm.
Cy Thompson, again, I want to thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you, bro. Thank you. All right, Adam, take it away. What stats excited you the most?
Well, we'll go through a bunch of different things here. The first thing I would point out, since Dom, you mentioned it, I'll just give you his combine measurements. He ran a 4.64 40-yard dash at the combine. 24 benches, 4.19 shuttle. Not that we need to get into those into too much depth, but yeah, 4.64 40. It's not exactly lights out. He is not, just like you said, he is not the home run hitter Brees Hall was. He was the only one of those we really had. Okay. So James Robinson, if I was to give him a nickname, it would be the Tank. He is a tank. 5'9", about 230 pounds. But he still has great strength, very explosive. Now, he's 24 years old. That's a nice age for a running back. Now, he's got 574 touches. Now, let's talk about these a little bit. There's a couple of different aspects to this that I find interesting. In his career, he's had 485 rushing attempts, 2,177 yards. That's 4.5 yards per attempt. Pretty good. 18 touchdowns. But what I also like is he's very good as a receiving running back as well, catching the ball out of the backfield, which works very well in this offense. 89 catches in his career, 612 yards, and I believe it's 8 touchdowns as a receiver. Let me make sure on that. I'm sorry, 4 touchdowns as a receiver. Pardon me. 28 first downs. That's what I was looking at. So you could use him in either spot. Also very good at blocking. He can pick up a blitz well. That's something that's going to really come in handy when you have an offensive line that seems to be losing players by the week and is now down 4 tackles. So there are going to be some spots when you might need James Robinson to do some blocking. And you know what that means? You don't necessarily need to use CJ Uzama as a blocker. You might be able to use him as a receiver a little bit more. The tight ends don't necessarily have to stay in and block, because now you have a running back who can really help out. So we could go through a whole lot more stats, but would you like me to keep going with more, or do we just want to react to the stuff I already dropped?
Well, there was a question about his knee for drainage. So just real quick before we keep going on, there is some concern about his knee, right? So Salah said he passed the physical. I don't know what that means. Does that usually mean that they're satisfied he's 100% to play, or does that just mean it's not serious, but it's something we have to look at? I don't know.
I don't think it's anything. I mean, he
No.
is coming off. He is coming off of a major injury. He did have an Achilles, which he has shown no remnants of having any issues with it. So listen, when something is wrong with your leg and you have a serious injury like that, that could just be general soreness or anything like that. Like in 7 games, James Robinson was never on the injury report, so I don't know how serious we have to really consider this knee to be.
No, I can tell you as a fantasy owner of James Robinson, I was rather alarmed how his snap count continued to deteriorate. And it wasn't for a lack of effectiveness. I think it was Jacksonville. I think it was 2 things with Jacksonville. Number one, needing to justify Travis Etienne as a first-round pick, even though they already had James Robinson on their team, and he had an excellent rookie season. He had 1,000 yards in his first year, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think Doug Peterson does not love running the ball. I believe he will throw and throw and throw as much as he can. And you know what? Robinson, like we know, is a restricted free agent coming up. It wasn't a situation where they were going to retain him. They looked at this as an opportunity to get some type of an asset. Obviously, the team right now is not playing well at all. You know, after 3 weeks, people were kind of anointing Jacksonville as the breakout team of the AFC. Not so much anymore.
Yeah.
So, they got what they could for him. So on one hand, and Jaguar fans are not happy about losing him either. I think they kind of knew it was inevitable, but you watch any Jaguars content provider and they're basically bowing at the throne of Joe Douglas, as they should.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, I think you hit the nail on the head, is that he just wasn't, he wasn't a scheme fit. Jacksonville wants to do different things with the ball than what Robinson had. He likes Etienne. He likes the other, younger, shiftier running backs that he has in the stable there. And if you're going to throw the ball, 2 out of every 3 2 out of every 3 plays, or even sometimes even more, sometimes 3 out of every 4, then if it's not going to be a fit, like Adam said, they had no intention of retaining him next year. So you get what you can for him, and you move on.
Yeah, most definitely. Yes, I don't know. Was Jets Forever talking about Jason Kelsey, Jeremy Rutgers?
He loves to put that in. Let me. I'm going to just give a quick response. We'll do a quick response, and then we'll go on with the stats. AVT replacement thoughts. I think we're going to go this week with the same lineup that we had in the fourth quarter last week. And I think that as soon as Mitchell or Fant, whoever gets healthy first, I'm expecting it to be Fant, comes back, you'll see Fant go to the right tackle position. And then when Mitchell comes back, it's a good problem to have. Mitchell, Fant, Dwayne Brown. All right. Yay. So much better than the situation we're in now. So that's just my quick thoughts on it.
Yeah. I would say this also. So I agree with you. I think you're going to see it. How we ended is how we're going to start this week. But don't be surprised if you see or if you hear Mike Remmers taking some more snaps inside at guard. Herbig has been, he's been serviceable. He's been pretty decent. He had a bad game last week. Now, sometimes you got to tip your cap to the defense. They're a good defense, but he's progressed, in a negative fashion in his pass sets and his pass blocking. Now, obviously, that's the the harder of the two between pass and run blocking, but especially in this offense. So I think if we see Herbert struggle a little bit more, we might see some Mike Remmers in there at guard, who is a grizzled vet, has played right and left guard as well as right tackle. So hopefully it's not hopefully it's an upgrade if at least a stalemate at worst.
I mean, I don't know what the record is for the number of offensive line configurations for one team in a single season, but I bet the Jets are going to approach it before all is said and done. Especially when they're making that deep playoff run. Who knows? There might even be more offensive line combinations. It's very possible.
Let's hope we get Fant and Mitchell back, and they can stay healthy, and we can put this problem at least. We know who we've lost, but at least let's hope that's the end of it, and we could just get some consistency going into the back half of the season for sure. But considering the way we're surviving this portion of the season and the schedule, if we can get those two guys back and get some consistency in our offensive line, when you look at the later part of our schedule, that can make us dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I think these next 3 games are going to be very, very telling. Belichick is, he knows you got to give it to the guy. He knows how to scheme up to eliminate the best option for the offense. And I think right now we can expect to see a heavy dose of blitzing from all over the place, trying to get Zach confused, not knowing where it's coming from, seeing ghosts, if you will. Hopefully we don't have to repeat that, but the offensive line is going to be a integral part into our success this week against New England.
Okay.
Unquestionably, the one player on New England who genuinely scares me is Matt Judon. He's got 9 sacks already this season. The guy is an absolute beast. I mean, the Ravens are known for making very good personnel decisions, but I wonder what they were thinking about when they let him go. Because without him, I mean, the Patriots defense is all tackling, but reliable play, but no speed. Judon is the X factor. He's the straw that stirs the drink, to use the old Reggie Jackson analogy. So.
Well, thank you for the super chat, Eminon. You are one of our original commiserals. And John Nolte, by the way, is here.
Nolte.
He had water on the brain. His knee was fine.
Water on the brain, water on the knee, water on the floor. Okay. We got water all over the place.
To the Boots likes Herbig. Look, he's been serviceable as a backup. He's doing his job. He's had some good games. He's struggled a little bit, but he was obviously a very good person to bring. I mean, where would we be without him, right? We certainly would prefer him over Feeney, I think.
GVR from back in the day.
Yeah, Hank, we're all concerned, but remember the Jets did okay in the fourth quarter. Like we, and I know that's and that's against a very good defense. So against a very good defense, we managed to put up points in that fourth quarter and continue our ways of winning the fourth quarter. So, you got to keep that in mind. Yeah. New England, it's not so much like the talent that Denver has, although they do have that one special guy. It's not, to me, it's not an overall talent thing. It's more of a coaching thing. So like each week is going to bring challenges. We know that Belichick is the challenge. And like Saleh says so well, the fact that you're talking about 20 years of the same system, they know how to play that. They know how to utilize it and play it and work their system. Another super chat from Cy Thompson. Look at this. How much of this do I have to give to Green Bean? We got the best back that was sneakily available. Yeah.
Sneakily.
It's very confusing to me, maybe not to everyone. I don't understand why Jacksonville had to give him up. As a matter of fact, I saw a video that was comparing. There were some people comparing, not that they're on equal level, but they were comparing the CMC and what that cost San Francisco to what James Robinson cost us, and said, do you think when you look at the cost, is there really that much gap in ability? When you talk about like just the injury proneness and how many games he plays, but also just even in skill and talent. Yeah, CMC is better, but is he that much better? Is he a second round and a third round and then next year a pick and the money that you have to pay? Like, is he that much better than us having to give only a 6th with a 5th round conditional?
Well, listen, I mean, you got to remember, like we were playing with house money, right? We
Yeah.
had an additional pick. All right. This is, I'm not. Everyone knows this by now, but in essence, we've swapped out James Robinson for Blake Cashman. Right now, even if that 6 turns into a 5, right? As it stands right now, there's 14 spots differently. In the old Jimmy Johnson draft value chart, it's like 2.4 points. It's nothing, to move down from where we were, our mid 5th to a high 6th. Because that's what, in essence, that's what it is. We gave up the high 6 for James Robinson that could turn into a mid 5th if he hits, if he hits the escalator, which he will hit the escalator.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah. So, all right, but we're playing with house money. Okay, you could say, all right, we have to get that 5 back. No, we have a high 6 back. We have an extra pick in the next round that's just 14 spots as it stands right now. 14 spots lower. So we didn't give up anything. On top of it, he's restricted, right?
Right. So we get him another year.
So we can, we can tender him and keep him very much on the cheap, even if, and he's not going to get a first round tender, but even if you got a first round tender, that's $3.7 million. A second round tender is like 1.75, and an original round tender is like 1.2, right? So we can keep him at least for another year, which is really why I think JD made this deal, because he knows that the fact of the matter that Breece Hall probably won't be ready for the beginning of the season, right? So you bring somebody in who you can retain their rights, without at a very cost effective manner, and then let the rest of 2023 play out to see what happens from there.
It's very possible. And you know what? We don't know if Breece is going to be ready or not. We don't know how he's going to heal. I mean, an ACL could take 6 months. It could take 10 months, 11 months. But, because from what I hear with ACL injuries, the first 80 to 90%, that's one thing. It's not too hard to get to that part. It's that last 10 to 20% that is the hardest part and takes the longest amount of time. You can get back to functional, but getting back to elite. Now, I don't doubt the kid's work ethic or anything like that, but it's just going to be a wait and see game. So if you have an insurance policy like James Robinson to go with Michael Carter, and if you still have Bam Knight, hey, I'll roll with that running game until Breece is ready to go. Sign me up.
Sure.
And if we get the offensive line healthy, that's the key too, because that it just makes them that much more effective. Michael Carter and obviously James Robinson, Breece Hall coming back, whatever you're talking about, you got to get the offensive line healthy. So, next year, even if Breece Hall's not ready in the beginning, if he's not 100%, people don't have to panic because we have so many options with the offensive line. We're going to come back with a much stronger offensive line. And no matter what anybody thinks, I'm not going to be that much of a doom and gloom kind of person. We're surviving this. Next year, we'll have healthy offensive linemen. We're not going to go through this 2 years in a row. I just have the faith that won't happen. So call me crazy, but I just don't. I just believe that we're riding this storm, and one day maybe we'll be relieved it was this year and not over the next 3 or 4 years when we make our championship runs.
Runs. I'm glad that you said runs is in plural.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
Yeah, well, that's what we're building for, and that's what I believe in this team. What I'm most excited about is we're not talking about we're building up to make one run at the Super Bowl. We're building up to be a competitive franchise, a strong organization that puts out a team that has a chance to compete and go far every year. And that's how you eventually get your Super Bowl ring. Because if you put all your eggs into 1 year and then it doesn't work out, now you're dead and you have to start over again.
2015.
Right.
Just
right,
saying.
Exactly. But if you're like Baltimore and Pittsburgh and New England and Green Bay and, teams that year after year, Kansas City, like year after year, stay competitive and keep putting themselves in a position to have a chance to win, that's what you want. But thank you for the super chat, Cy. We appreciate that. I hope I'm
Isn't it nice
pronouncing
to see a super chat and we're not immediately filled with dread like we were last week? Isn't that nice, Jeremy?
Well, we go from that super chat to yet another. Sorry, I don't know what you're doing for us, man. Did Green Bean put you up to this? Because this is incredibly generous of you.
Are you really Ablab, Cy Thompson? Do you know Ablab?
We super appreciate it. I don't know what I'm doing
Thank
right,
you.
my friends. I don't know what I'm doing right or what Adam's doing right. I don't know what this channel's doing right, but we appreciate this. You are literally a lot of you. I mean, my snackers and a lot of the people that are able to do super chats. You are funding this channel in a way you wouldn't believe. The technology, like the TV, I got this new monitor, like all the lighting. I'm going to upgrade my StreamYard so we get hopefully a better quality picture and I can have more assistant like people to come into this stream and be able to highlight the chats and run the show. Because right now I only have one, so it's like I have to like bounce it around. But anyway, it really helps, and I really, really appreciate it. And plus, it's very flattering for all of us in here when we get these kind of super chats. When you, it's just a lot of love that you're showing. With that being said, how about we just kick Belichick in the mouth, run it down their throat? Our defense will make whatever their quarterback pay. Remember the 50 tattoo from last year. Yeah, look, I don't care how we win. Whatever works. Just figure it out. How do we beat them? And I definitely agree we should not stop scoring. Like, I don't care how much, if we're up and we got them beat in 30 seconds, we're at the 4-yard line. It's not going to be what Chicago did. No respect. We're just going to keep going and keep scoring. Or they might go the other direction and do the classy thing and Salah just show them up as far as who has the more class. I don't know. Personally, I'd rather run up the score on them.
I like to see at the end of the game, Salah. I know he would never do it, but I'd like to see Salah go up to Belichick, go off for the handshake, and go like this to him, just to completely diss him on the handshake. Oh, it'd be beautiful. You thought the Mangini one was awkward, but I will say this: New England is giving up 136.7 rushing yards per game. Well, thanks to Justin Fields. Hey, New England is known for New England's defense. It's weird, because everybody is focusing on this last game against Chicago, and understandably so, because it was so shocking and it was on national TV. I mean, most of us we all watched that game. But the fact of the matter is, the 2 weeks prior, they shut down Detroit, the highest scoring offense in the league at that time. And the next week, they shut down Cleveland. They're the only team to basically hold Nick Chubb to practically nothing. So when they want to shut something down, they can do it, which makes it that much more baffling that Justin Fields and the Chicago offense schooled them the way that they did. Yeah. And I got to be honest, that almost worries me a little bit, because can we really expect something like that to happen 2 weeks in a row to Belichick and his defense?
Well, they struggle against mobile quarterbacks.
Yes.
I mean, at least this year. I mean, everyone saw what Fields did, right? So, Zach necessarily isn't he's mobile and he's shifty and he's elusive, but he's not a mobile quarterback in the likes of Justin Fields or Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts, so on and so forth. I would love to see some plays drawn up, some naked boots where he's rolling out, or some designed quarterback runs, because that seems to be one of the Achilles heel of this uber aggressive New England defense.
And, as I was watching Fields run the way that he was against them, I had one player in mind, Braxton Berrios. I want to see him used a couple of times. Of course, you got to do it selectively, but on end arounds, not so much screen passes. He hasn't done this much here as a receiver when he's taking a pass behind the line of scrimmage. But when he's getting handoffs and those types of a plays, he could be a weapon. And I'm telling you, if the Patriots are as beat up as their safeties are, both had to leave the game against the Bears. So you know what? I think Berrios is capable of a 20, 30-yard play in this game, and that's not even on special teams.
So, hey, again, it's going to be a chess match. The game's going to be a chess match. And we certainly can't let Elijah Moore and our worry about him being happy interfere with that chess match. We have to. I again, like I had to go back to that because I'm thinking if we pound the ball, what does that mean? And then I said, well, who cares what it means? Like we have to do everything we can to win the game.
Yeah.
And he just got to be on board with that. But
it's got to be all all hands on deck. Like just Elijah Moore and all that nonsense. That was last week's news, and we just got to move forward, business as usual. The offense is going to run how the offense is going to run, and Elijah Moore doesn't have to like it, but we just got to continue. Like we can't let Elijah Moore dictate, or I don't think Elijah Moore is going to dictate how Michael LaFleur calls a game. And I don't think it's going to dictate how Zach Wilson progresses on his reads. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, I would love to see a well-balanced game. I'd love to see Zach throw for 240 to 280, whatever it is, and throw a couple of TD passes. It would be great.
140 or 180.
It would be right. It'd be wonderful. But you know what? More than anything, no interceptions. I want no interceptions, and people are forgetting. I know it looked boneheaded at times, like that one that was almost a fumble, but he avoided a lot of sacks. There were plays that were ridiculous. He had no time. They went right through us, and his escapability saved the game.
Absolutely.
And then there was an amazing run he made. Everyone's forgetting that run on where he ran for the first down. And it was an amazing run where he totally shake and baked and broke the guy's ankles. I mean, like
it looked like a carbon copy of the play preseason where he hurt his knee.
Yeah, except this time he didn't flop down.
It was on the other side, so he was cutting off his left leg.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But Cy Thompson, again, thanks for that super chat. We really appreciate it. Phenom, I'm keeping the faith, brother. I'm keeping the faith. I expect to win. I expect to win every week as a Jet fan. Maybe not against Buffalo. We'll see how we feel when we cross that bridge. Look, I believe we're the better team. I really do. The injuries don't help. I mean, it makes it a lot closer. I think without the injuries, we're clearly a better team. But I still think we're better than New England because our defense is why we've been winning, and our defense is healthy. So
knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Find out. I mean, yeah, most definitely. I'll give you a couple of other numbers on Robinson that I found pretty interesting. First of all, we talk about his snap count diminishing. He took 70% of the snaps in his rookie year. This year, only 46%. So, and he played 12 snaps this past week, had no rushing attempts because they were just going to ATN. But what's interesting is the more he gets the ball, the better he is. So this is pretty interesting. He's had 18 games in his career where he's had 15 carries or more. Okay. In those 18 games, he rushed for 1,593 yards on 335 carries. That's an average of 88 per game, 4.8 yards per carry. Now, if that's not enough, it's even better. In those 18 games, he had 52 catches, 341 yards. That's 18.9 receiving yards per game. That's a total yards per game of 107.4 when he has 15 carries or more. Wow. And what's another thing that we talked about at the beginning of the season? This team lacked on offense. A goal line back. Jeremy, you've heard me talk about this. If we have a 4th and 1 that we have to get, if we have a 3rd and 1 we have to get, do we have the running back who can get that? We've had that conversation. In his career, he's had 8 goal line carries from the 1. We scored a touchdown 8 times. All 8 times. He is 8 for 8, wow, scoring from the 1 yard line, getting in the end zone. And that is behind an offensive line in Jacksonville that stinks when it comes to run blocking. They have not been in the top 20 in all 3 years that he has been running behind them. He runs behind our offensive line. You only wish that AVT was still here because, my God, the other defense don't have a chance. So, but he knows his way in even behind a porous run blocking offensive line.
That's why we have to keep this guy for next year for sure. I want to see him with our full strength offensive line.
There you go. The one concern I would have, and I can give you some other stuff, but the one concern I do have, 35 games in his career, 8 fumbles. He's a little prone to fumbling the football. That is the one thing that scares me about him.
Okay. Reasonable enough. I did notice that he's got a little of the fumblies, but he did. I saw like most of them, like the ones he had, were not fumbles lost. So I saw a couple times that he does manage to get them back. But well, hopefully they'll coach that out of him. So we're hearing these great stats now. I think would be the perfect transition if you're ready, Dom.
Oh yeah.
We could start looking at. We're talking about this guy. Who wants to watch some tape? Let's see who we got here. So now we have this opportunity, and we're so appreciative of Dom C coming on to do this for us, where we can watch this guy and see what he got, and you could explain visually why he's perfect for our offense and what we mean by one cut explode.
Sure.
Mhm.
Let's get this present. Here's
Fryer of film in action. Jeremy, I swear, every time we do something like this with Dom, he really needs his own like music or intro or some sort of like intro, like with Frankie's Facts with Green Bean. Dom really deserves it.
This is great. Somebody changed their name to Mr. Excessive Tackle.
Is that J. Cole?
Well,
If it is, it's fabulous.
If it is, it's the funniest thing he ever did. That was the most classic,
as far as we know,
thing. That was the best chat message that Green Bean ever put on his screen during a watch party.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, well, we're all going crazy because Whitehead lit the guy. What was it? Reed lit the guy up and basically knocked the soul out of him. And here comes this Bronco fan who says that's a 15-yard penalty.
Was that Broncos fan? That hack?
That was Broncos.
It was
fan.
Broncos. He makes Aaron Butler almost.
He said that's a 15-yard penalty and a first down. Excessive tackling.
That guy made Aaron Butler almost look tolerable by comparison.
I know.
Right? I agree.
I know. So here we go. Let's get this going here.
Can you see my screen, guys?
Yeah,
we
can.
got
I'm
you.
gonna
We
go
got
ahead and
you.
blow it up on my
Okay,
side.
I'm gonna blow it up here.
And you can see this moving here.
Sure
Yeah.
can.
All right. I actually hooked up my mouse to make it a little easier at times. So just so you guys know, I got some, I just got some cuts from 2 separate games. This one being the first game of the year on the road at Washington. And then I pulled some tape from their 3rd game of the season in San Diego. I haven't had a chance to watch every single game, just full disclosure. More so because I was really I started looking at the New England defense a lot, see what is in store there. But we'll get going here. And this is one of the first drives of the game. All right, so we're early in the first quarter. They're in 11 personnel. They got their 3 wide receivers, 1, 2, 3, and this is a formation that Jacksonville seems to like to run out of. They have, they got the tight end. And they got the 2 wide receivers stacked in tight with one guy out here split. So this defense, this offensive scheme, and this is the only thing I could assume why Peterson likes it so much. You have to respect, obviously, anyone who knows Doug Peterson, the coach of the Jaguars, that just like Adam intimated before, that he likes to pass the ball. So you're pretty much trying to run the ball against their nickel defense, and that's exactly what they're in. They're in a 4-2-5. There's your 4. You got the 2 backers, and you got the 5 guys on the outside. They're showing it too deep. They're showing a too high split safety look right now, but they're going to move around a little bit. This for me is just ideal. James Robinson. This is exactly what you like to see. Exactly what I wanted to see, and I'll play it through. And there we go. We just get normal. We get good on drive blocking. They show man. Boom. He sees the hole and cuts. Boom.
There's the
He's
cut.
gone. All right. Stiff arm. Now we'll watch it from the back view here. So you're gonna watch the lineman They drive down here, so you see that this is where the play is intended to go, but it shows as if they're coming here. That's the cutback. Boom, right there. Hits the cutback, gets to the outside, gets physical with them right there. I'll watch it. We can watch it again. Boom, boom. One cut and go.
And when was this? When did this game take place?
First week of the season.
Okay, so this is after injury.
Oh yeah. He got injured last year.
Right.
He avoided. Oh boy, yeah, he avoided the second tackle. Actually, impressed me just as much as the cutback. To be honest with you, right, this one and like right here, like he could be dead to rights here.
Yeah,
but you can see the Redskin player, like the Redskin player.
Sorry,
I said Redskin.
A little over pursuit right here.
Yeah,
and just a great job blocking by the inside guys here. They seal off the wall for the cutback, and then the rest is just James Robinson. Look at this. He's got two guys. He's got 3 guys. He's got 1, 2, and 3 right here, and he just outruns them all. Again, very. You talked about Jeremy. You talked about before. Who does he look like? What running back does he remind you of?
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot, if you guys remember, of Arian Foster. Arian Foster,
good one.
Is a big back, also a guy who, probably didn't light up the combine in his 40. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know off the top of my head, but I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't, much more 4.5, 4.6. But, just the true prototypical one, bigger, tough, one cut and go guy. And this play just epitomizes it. It's designed to go back here. He shows, makes a cut and goes, and he's gone. And he's fast enough that he can still get outside. Just a great, great play. So I'm going to move it up here a little bit. This is not the play we want, so I'm just going to let this play through. We want the next play. That's just normal dive. I'll show it again. Nothing crazy. This is not the one I'm gonna break down, but just the dive. Still falling forward. Nothing really in the hole. All right, so let's get set up here. Okay, so here we have their 10 personnel, which is 1 running back, 4 wide receivers spread. Again, you have 4-2-5 on the defense. So this is their nickel base or their nickel formation. You got the linebacker, the opposite side. I want you to watch him right here. All right. So James Robinson's here. I want you to watch this guy right here. Boom.
Wow.
Perfect technique. Not afraid. Knows what he's going. That linebacker's coming in unabated, and he just steps up and keeps that pocket clean. It's not much of a rep, but it's such a good one if you're looking at the whole big picture. Like, he's the reason that Trevor Lawrence still has time and a clean pocket to do that. Now, there's an interesting stat that I read on James Robinson. I can't quote the number exactly, but out of 56 or 57,
I got it for you.
You got it.
I got you. 54 block attempts. He's allowed 4 pressures, no sacks, no quarterback hits allowed.
How about that? He keeps that pocket clean. You get a 7-yard completion out of it. It's beautiful. So let's move up a little bit. Now we're moving up in the game.
All right. I'm so glad you put in a play about his pass blocking. I was really hoping you would.
Oh, I got a couple of them. Yeah,
thank you for
I got a
doing that.
couple of them.
Special teams?
No, I gotta get to them. Sorry. If I play with the mouse, I'm gonna miss the play. So
okay.
Okay.
I was like, I didn't see that coming, but all right.
So here we are in 11 personnel.
Yeah.
We're tight 2-by-1. So to the wide side of the field, they got the 2 wide receivers spread wide side of the field, right? Got the tight end here, and you got the other wide receiver in tight. So this is a zone blocking concept. Again, James Robinson, 1 cut and go. He runs hard and gets downhill real quick. puts in motion. You know it's man defense. Boom, boom, one cut and go, and then delivers a punch. And you can see it here very easily. One cut and downhill. Boom, delivers the blow.
Nice.
Yeah. One guy said in the chat, good vision, and you could see it on this play.
Yeah, he just he reads his block. He does exactly what he's supposed to do. It's beautiful. Oop. Nope. Sorry. Went too far. Okay. Here we're lined up in 12 personnel. Okay. They got the twin wide receivers. So it's 2-0. They got the tight end, they got the H-back in here. They got the twin wide receivers out split to the wide side. All right. This is a traditional counter run. You're going to see the offensive lineman pull. And what I want you to see is the patience that James Robinson shows on this play. He lets the play develop. Again, makes a good cut and gets downhill. Again, finishing hard and getting positive yards. So he follows
the right side. Oh, okay.
Nice cutback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Throw it again from here.
I gotta see that again.
Counter, lets it develop, gets downhill. And again, after contact, he gets contacted here and still gains 2 yards. You can see it. You can see the play develop a little bit here. So this defensive end makes a great play, and he splits this blocker, which causes a little bit of a cluster F right here with this guy. But James Robinson waits. He's still patient enough. Reads off his block, gets hit, and still falls forward for 3 yards.
You could see a little bit of a burst at the end. We
Yeah.
just turned the Jets on just a little more.
That's a nice 7-8 yard gain.
Yeah, 6 to 8, 7 yards. I'll take it every time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that gives you like 2nd and 2 as opposed to like 2nd and 8, I mean that just opens up your playbook that much more to keep moving the ball down the field.
Yeah. So here we are in a goal line situation. We're coming up. They're tight. We got 13 personnel. They're man. They got man coverage all along. They got man here. And this is just, again, 4.6 speed, right? Not the greatest for running back, but still good enough. Again, well-schemed play. They knew exactly what they were doing. And his 4.6 speed is still going to outrun a running back, outrun a linebacker. So he knows that right here, that's his man. And he just beats him right to the flank. Nice and simple. Good rollout. You know the situation. He's going to beat this middle linebacker 10 out of 10 times to that spot. There's just no way to keep up with that.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. Again, good design play, but it shows that he can, linebackers aren't going to be able to hang with him, in that sense. So I'm going to flip screens here. Now we're going into this Chargers game. Let me get to our first play here. Go ahead.
While you're loading that up, guys, I got one more stat for you that I found really interesting. In 2020, Robinson he ran for 1,070 yards for the season.
Yeah.
What's interesting is 764 of those yards came after contact. That's the 8th most in the league. So basically, 75% of his yards came after contact. It's very hard to bring him down the first time.
Okay, before we go to that next thing, I think I see. I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats.
Go ahead, man.
See one.
Go for it. Halftime.
Let me know when you're ready, Jeremy, because I can't see the StreamYard screen.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to let you know when I'm ready. I just want to point this out because you're back on, but I think that you need to
stop sharing.
I think you need to stop sharing, then reshare the new screen because we're still seeing the old screen.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So let me. I thought I saw something. Here it is. Cy Thompson is he's feeding us like we're Elijah Moore. I'm out here. Believe this team's I'm out here. Oh, I'm out here. Oh, do you have to leave or something? Good night. But believe in this team. It's kind of
Yeah, he did say that earlier. He did say that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks again. If you hear this, if you're there, appreciate it, man. This is a great supporter of the channel. So hope he comes back every show. Thank you so much, Cy Thompson. We appreciate you. Let's see. We haven't looked in the chat in a while. So hey, Matt Smith, good to see you. Trin the Great, what's up? Some guy is here. Nick Nova, welcome. Glad to see you here. Ronald Perry's here. What's up, guys? Good to see everybody. Hope you're liking the show. And our friend from New Zealand, Braden.
Braden!
He is here. Good friend of ours is here. J. Cole is here. That's cool. Maybe it was J. Cole who called himself Mr. Excessive Tackle. If it was him, that's the best thing he's ever done on this channel. K Drizzle and welcome.
The name of J. Cole's sex tape, Mr. Excessive Tackle.
Okay, so why don't you reshare your screen and we'll get back to that. We'll get back to the footage. And I do want to say J. Cole did a funny thing. A friend of mine put out this giant Instagram tweet. She has like 20,000 followers. So me and her were just screaming at each other, yelling who's more messed up in the head. Somehow J. Cole found it on Instagram, and it was her Instagram. So he put a message to her saying, "Ask him if he likes chicken cutlets." So
Wow.
You gotta laugh.
So,
I mean,
but he didn't claim you as his dad or anything, did he?
So are you guys good? Can you see this?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
We are good now.
So now we're in, I think this is week 3 or week 4. I forget which week it was. Jacksonville's in white, obviously, and the Chargers are in their baby blues. And this is the formation, like I said, that you'll see often. It's their 11 personnel. They're stacked on the wide side with the wide receivers. They got the H-back, and they got the other wide receiver on the line in tight. Okay? So I want you to watch here. This is a 4-2-5, obviously. They got 1, 2, 3, 4. Got your linebackers, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the back. So they want to run. You know, it's good concept. You want to bring their nickel defense out there and just, you know, less big bodies up front in the box, more space, more holes, more opportunity. So the big thing here is this is what's his face? What is the middle linebacker from Kenneth Murray? Watch Kenneth Murray get frozen right here by this guard, and then watch what happens from there. Okay. So the guard pulls, and Kenneth Murray bites.
Oh.
And the play is the same one. It's that same cutback that they ran in Washington, just to the opposite side. You can see it better here. Kenneth Murray is number 9. So the guard pulls, and he reads that, and it's a bad play right there by that safety that comes up, and it's a nice 15-yard play, and he did lose the ball.
I love that.
One cut and go, and then he's physical.
Yeah.
Stiff arm. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not like he had blockers, you know, setting a path for him like out in front of him. You know, he pretty much had he had a little bit of a lane to run through, but he really was able with some speed to get some extra yards when he could have been wrapped up, you know, not too far after the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got a gaping hole here. I mean, this is just this defensive lineman, you know, came upfield coming after the passer as he did, and this cutback lane is right here. It's a great job by this receiver. I think that's Christian Kirk to get down here and really seal off.
The cut was nice, though. The cut
was nice.
There it is.
I think the best part of it is not only the cut, but watch what happens after the cut. He beats off that guy with a stiff
right
leg.
there. Yeah, that was what I liked. Agreed.
Gets another 10 yards out of it.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Just a beautiful, beautiful run. Again, nothing flashy, nothing special. gets the ball one cut and explodes.
Matthew Smith, he beats off who?
Derwin James, I believe that was.
Yeah, mind
So-
out of the gutter. Mind out of the gutter, Matt. Come on.
So they line up again in 10 personnel, which brings an extra defensive back on the field. Again, 4 wide receivers, one running back, 10 personnel. They're 2x2 and stacked on the short side. So they got the wide receivers stacked here on the short side. There's the hash. There's the short side of the field. All right. They bring the H back in motion and they pull the guard. They bring the H back in motion. Where is he? Well, you'll see him when he comes. And then they pull the guard. So it's just a simple trap play. Guard pulls and kicks. It's just one cut and go. It's beautiful. And it's actually, you'll see as it happens. Here's the H-back, comes down. He comes down, guard kicks out. Now, again, only about 4 or 5 yards, but the defensive end or the linebacker in this end makes a great play. He just reaches out and makes a play. But again, let's see if I can get it here. Finds a spot, goes. Boom.
See,
One cut and go, always falling forward, always gaining yards. Next play, here we go. 11 personnel. We're tight on the wide side with the twins, right? This is an RPO. He doesn't do much here. It's only a couple yards that he gains in this play. He actually doesn't get the first down, but you'll see why I think this is a really good rep on his part when we watch it from the next view. All right. Doesn't get much, misses the first down by a half a yard. But there's nothing here, guys. I want you to watch this hole right here just close. And he does a good job of getting skinny and trying to make something out of nothing. You see that? You see that? How he just turns his shoulders? He's up against.
He did.
Everything closes down. This linebacker closes down.
Nothing.
This guy's 17 is supposed. This is similar to the play, that last trap play that they ran, where they pulled the guard out and they brought the H back down. It's a similar concept, but this defensive lineman just does a phenomenal job of holding his ground. So there's nowhere for 17 to get in here and block on that middle linebacker. Ideally, if this guard can drive off and win against this defensive lineman, this guy kicks down on this linebacker, the center closes off and pins here, you're going to have a nice hole here for 1 yard. He doesn't get it, but he does a good job of making himself skinny right there.
Look at that.
And still gaining yardage. So he made something out of nothing. Now it didn't amount to a first down, but I still think it's 9 out of 10 running backs in the NFL would have just tried to put their head down and drive through these 320-pound behemoths. Not the case. He finds a little crease. He gets himself skinny and he still gains yards. He doesn't gain enough, but he still gains yards. So I wanted to bring that out. Even the bad plays are pretty good. Okay.
It was so weird seeing you said 17. I'm like, oh, that's Evan Ingram. I'm like, wow, it's so weird to see a tight
that
end
Evan
wearing
Ingram?
17.
Is he
Yeah, it was
number
Evan.
17?
It was Evan Ingram. Yeah.
Huh.
It's weird seeing a tight end wearing number 17.
Here they are again in their 10 personnel with 4 wide receivers, 3x1. So they got 3 on one side, trips stacked on the wide side of the field. Again, this is, they're showing man, right? They're in man match up top. They have they're showing 2 safeties. This guy is ultimately, he's going to be forced. Jacksonville's forcing this guy to come down into coverage, but it's going to leave a lot open over here. So I just want you to watch the blitz pickup on this play. Show him coming. He just steps up and boom.
Wow.
Oh,
Saved it.
yes.
How many times have we seen running backs just like
And you can watch it. You can
Okay,
watch it from this. You can watch it from this angle again. He knows his role. There's nobody there. He gets no help. That's
None.
That's something that is so underrated in a running back. Is you get a linebacker that's blitzing one-on-one. Now, a better throw. They got the first down, but a better throw, and he's probably gaining another 15, 20 yards.
Can we see it one more time? I'm sorry. Can I want to see it one more time from that behind angle, if we could. I want to see one more thing. I want to watch his footwork because we saw his positioning, but I want to see his base on this. See it one more time. Okay.
So he steps up.
Plants
He's
the
moving
Okay.
forward. And that's the one thing. And there's another play that I'm going to show of James Robinson in pass pro. And the one thing that really stood out to me is that he's not back on his heels. He's not catching that linebacker or that blitzer coming into him. He's stepping into it. He's initiating the contact. And that is what really separates somebody who's good in pass pro from somebody who's not so good in pass pro, right? You're not caught on your heels, standing flat-footed, trying to catch this guy. You're never going to stop these guys that are blitzing that way. You have to really get up and put your body into it. And he does that. He does it great here. He does a great job here. So the next play is 11:08. So it's the actual next play. Okay. So 10 personnel again. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is 20 personnel.
Yep.
So this is 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, no tight ends. They're 2-by-1 on the wide side of the field with the 2 wide receivers. Now
This is interesting.
This is a weird defensive setup. So it looks like they've switched off to a different kind of base. It looks like they're in some sort of 3-3-5. If I'm counting this right. No, it could be 4-2-5.
Is it a 3-3-5 or a 4-2-5? It's like a 4-man line.
They got 4 guys here. You're right. It's 4-2-5.
Okay.
Another example of just solid blitz pickup. Again, I want you to watch him initiate the contact on the blitz.
And he's up top, right? He's
Yep.
Lawrence's left? Okay. Oh, yes.
Wow.
You can watch it better from this angle. Again, the play doesn't amount to much, but just watch him. He sees what's coming, and he just steps up, and he stops the blitzer in his tracks.
He had to really move to get into that spot. He didn't just pick up. Yeah. Centered himself, got down low, and stood him up.
Initiates the contact. It's beautiful, man.
I love that.
Okay, here we are. 10 personnel. 3-by-1 tight on the wide side. All right. So you got the 3 guys here. Tight. Here's your 4th receiver. There's James Robinson. Again, we talked about contact balance. And we talked about athletic, guys that are, good athletes or bad athletes. What he does here is, again, the play doesn't amount to much. It's a couple yards. But if you watch it, I'll watch it through and just watch the athlete that he is and watch the balance that a guy who's 200 and some odd pounds has. All right. So you're watching him. He comes out in the play. He gets picked off. He gets picked off by that defensive lineman who kind of cuts him. So he loses his feet and has enough wherewithal to maintain balance, get back up as pressure's coming. Catch the ball and get the first down.
Doesn't give up on the play.
Doesn't give. Listen, this guy kills him. I mean, how many other running backs, if in this situation, would have just ended up flat on their back?
Ty Johnson would. Yeah. Mental awareness, physical ability.
Yeah, and then
See both.
still, even that, gets hit, gets balance, regains, catches his feet, and then still falls forward for the first down after contact. This play really should have never went off. I want to. I'll let you watch it one more time. I want you to watch 75.
75. Oh, right tackle. Okay.
Did you see it? The right tackle it is a false start.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a little jumpy.
Yeah. But just such a good play. Such a good play. So I got one more for you. And it's a little bit later. Okay. 22 personnel. Now, the defense is switched up, right? They got more tight ends on the field. They switched up. They're in a 4-3, showing one deep safety here, right? You got 1, 2, 3. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 1, 2, 3. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're showing one deep safety. Generally, when you're in one deep, you can assume that you're going to get man coverage, right? This is James Robinson here on this side. All right, this is planned. They know the defense. They know what they're bringing. James Robinson goes. He sees the guy coming up. Knows the blitz is coming. Just beats the blitz. Nice move.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, you can watch it. This is a better view of it. Just a nice swing pass. High ball. Still shows, shows his good hands. Maintains a good athletic. He should have took it up right there, actually. Probably could have gained more yardage. But he reels in a high ball, wide open. Good play scheme to beat the blitz. Beats that guy. Good there. So we saw a little bit of everything. We saw a little bit, we saw, the true one cut and downhill running. We show him. Let me stop sharing. Get back to here. Okay. So we saw, his true one cut and go ability. We saw him be physical. We saw him get downhill. We saw phenomenal contact balance. We saw excellent pass protection. Wherewithal to, catch the ball that isn't the easiest thing to catch. So all in all, a very well-rounded running back. And like I said, a very, very Arian Foster-esque, right? Just he could be a workhorse. He could be a workhorse for us. I really, really think that.
Wow. So now it's just a matter of what is the balance going to be between he and Michael Carter.
Yeah, I don't think much this week. I'll say this. I wouldn't be surprised if he was inactive this week. They've already called up Bam. Saleh said right from the get-go, right from Jump Street, that Ty Johnson was going to get some. Ty Johnson was going to get some touches right off the bat. So I think we're going to see a lot of Michael Carter. I think we're going to see a lot of Bam. I think we're going to see not a lot of Bam. I think we're going to see a lot of Ty Johnson. And listen, maybe he gets on the field a little bit. Maybe he sees some, pretty simple, direct, short yardage stuff. But if I had to bet, I'd probably say that he's going to be inactive this week. Gives him a week to kind of get his feet under him, learn the offense, learn the lingo, understand what's going on with the personnel, so on and so forth.
He's not injured right now, Braden. His knee was sore or whatever, but it's nothing that would stop him from playing. Saleh said, Saleh was kind of like mysterious about it. Like, is he going to play? He goes, hope so. But like, I was kind of thinking we might not see him Sunday. I mean, the Niners did that with CMC and they got crushed by Kansas City. I don't know. Sometimes I think that it causes a problem when you try to force something. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to make these 8 plays or as many plays as we can teach you in this amount of time, and we're going to force. I don't know if that works. So maybe he'll dress and be ready though, right? Just
Yeah, no, maybe.
you
I mean,
know.
I don't know. Like I said, I would still, I would bet that he, again, if I had to bet the pass or the no pass, I'd bet that he's not going to be active.
It's hard for me to imagine they're going to activate 4 running backs
Right.
for Sunday. That
Yeah.
It's a little bit hard to believe that for me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they didn't already bring up Bam Knight, you might say, okay, he was, maybe there's a chance. And even if that, he doesn't know the whole offense yet. He doesn't know the lingo. He doesn't know what he's doing. So, even if he did or does see time, it's going to be on a limited basis. But, we have 2 weeks until our bye, right? We have New England, Buffalo, and then the bye.
that's right.
After the bye week, I think you're going to see him, kind of working a lot more, and it's really going to bring a different facet to the offense. Now I see Mike Cos's comment here in the chat. You're right, man. He absolutely is not Breece Hall, and I don't think any Jet fan in their right mind expects him to be of the talent of Breece Hall.
Yeah, I mean, and I was saying that too. Like as happy as I was about getting him, there was nothing as obviously you wouldn't get a Breece Hall talent for a 6th round, 5th round conditional. That wouldn't happen. I mean, Breece Hall was on his way, and I believe his story's not over. Obviously, he'll come back at some point, but to me, Breece Hall was franchise changing. He's one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That one of those very special top elite NFL running backs. That was where I thought he was going, and I still believe that it's now we just have to wait longer for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But what a great guy to have as a fill-in. And if Breece Hall comes back next year at any point, and we still hold on to this kid, we got 3 quality running backs. Talk about a 3-headed monster.
And again, I've said it before. You have to remember where our offensive minds come from. They're from the Shanahan family tree, right? Our offense is Shanahan tree. What did Mike Shanahan do more than any other coach or offensive coordinator when he was in Atlanta, when he was in San Francisco? He will use 3 running backs and use them a lot, right? Now, I think this situation that we're in, considering Breece's injury, is a little bit different. To me, this is a absolute no-brainer. Bring in this kid. It's cheap. He's good. He fits what you want to do. He complements Michael Carter very, very well, right? That whole thunder and lightning thing. And then you're still going to need somebody. You're still going to need a second running back for the beginning of next year, because chances are Breece Hall's not going to be ready to be in the season, or if he is, he's not going to be at 100%. It's usually, and again, I'm not trying to sound like Debbie Downer, but the reality is that we probably won't see the Breece Hall we saw in the first 7 games until 2024. That's just what happens when these guys, when these athletes, these running backs especially, hurt themselves. Took Saquon a whole, Saquon's playing at a different level right now, right? But it wasn't like that last year.
Right.
He was still coming back. He was still coming back from that knee.
Right. We have to just hope. We don't know. Everybody's different, right? And they heal different, and they
correct. Well, look at remember your man crush during draft season, Jeremy? Jameson Williams?
Yeah.
February 1st, he tore his ACL, right?
Yeah.
March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Now they're saying that he won't be back at earliest until the end of November. That's 9 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do 9 months from the middle of October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. July, he comes back. He starts to ramp it up and so on and so forth, but he's not 100% by July.
Right. No way.
Probably not going to be 100% until mid-season, if that. Hopefully.
I do wonder with these ACLs. I think you kind of said this too, Dom. Not every ACL tear is made the same.
Correct.
Sometimes you factor in the MCL as well. Sometimes you factor in the meniscus. and they said it was a minor meniscus injury that Hall had as well to go with the torn ACL, but they didn't say it was a torn meniscus. That would have given me more concern. So it's going to be interesting. I would not be surprised if he even started on the PUP list. If that gives him a better chance to come back, full at full throttle. I think a realistic scenario is PUP list for the first couple of weeks for next season, because why I don't want to see 70-80% of Breece Hall, especially when you have Carter, most likely Robinson, and you should have Bam as well. No need to rush him.
Yeah.
Pup list will put him out for the first 6 weeks, so that might work in a timeline, something like that. Like, again, we can wish all we want, and who knows? There's been, Christ, I mean, Cam Akers came back from an ACL, from a Achilles tear, how quickly, right? Didn't he make like a miraculous comeback in 7 weeks or 7 months or something like that from an Achilles tear?
Yeah, that's supposed to be worse than an ACL. Achilles is about the worst injury you could get.
Yeah, so people heal differently and everything like that, but realistically, I don't think we see Breece Hall before in the first half of next season. And I don't think the Jets are going to push it either. I really don't. Like, this guy, you know what he is. The franchise changing or franchise caliber talent that he has. Why are you gonna rush him back and risk further injury? Right? Not when
they didn't rush Zach back. Don't need to rush Breece back.
Not like listen, that's why you got guys like Michael Carter. That's why you got guys like James Robinson. That's why you have these guys that can kind of next man up and hold the fort down until your thoroughbred is full and ready to go.
Yep. Well, I think it's a fine duo. James Robinson and Michael Carter, they're fine. I mean, that's solid. They'll go as far as the offensive line takes them. Now it's about getting our offensive line healthy. If we can scrape off a win against New England, whether we punch them in the mouth and beat them easily, whether we scrape up, just get the win, right? The Buffalo thing, I mean, it is what it is. But if we go in 6-3 to the bye, and then we come back and we have Fant or Mitchell or both of them back, then now we make our playoff run.
Yeah.
But it'd be really nice. It'd be really nice to, just get that win against New England and put ourselves in a position to make that playoff run. No matter what happens in the playoffs, look, then we could just say, okay, let's say we lose in the first game or miracle, we get to the second game, whatever happens. We get into the offseason and we say, okay, it sucks that we lost Breece Hall, but we, in the middle of the year, what could we have done? We say all that. But the point is, the team went from 4-13. We'll be thrilled and in disbelief because we made the playoffs. And we'll know at some point we have two good running backs. At some point, we're going to get our phenom back. We're going to have our guy back. And he's going to be part of the future. And you're right. I think they need to do everything they can to make sure that they do it the right way. And when we get him back, he's really ready to be back. And we don't take any chances because this kid is special and we got to make sure that we get like the full career out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we know those lives of running backs, they tend to not last very long. So
no, for 4 years, wash, rinse, and repeat, right?
Yeah.
By and large, yeah. I mean, guys like Adrian Peterson, they don't come along very often.
The average tenure running back is in the NFL for 3 years. 3 years.
Wow.
Think about that. 3 years. Now we can all think of DMC and how many guys have really gotten a big second contract? Zeke did. Christian McCaffrey did. Derrick Henry did. Right? After that, the pickings are slim. Not these guys don't get the big money second contract. A lot of them, the special ones do. Because the NFL knows that the wear and tear on a running back or on a running back's body, they just break down quicker than any other position in the NFL.
And that's why you see teams using 2 to 3 running backs at a time, as opposed to having it's like, he's not a bell cow running back. This isn't a bell cow. it's not. We don't need a bell cow running back. You just want a complement of running backs for
And
different
that's why-
situations.
And that's why you also see a lot of the NFL is moving away from drafting running backs early, right?
Yeah.
Because they know, listen, we're gonna have this guy. We're gonna hope we get 3-4 years out of him, and we're gonna draft his replacement 2 years in.
Yeah.
Or Michael Carter's case 1 year in.
Yeah.
Well, Michael Carter, man, it's good that now how happy we are that we had two real running backs and that we have a real guy in Michael Carter. And now we're back to the duo. We have a duo. We have two very capable running backs. It's a good thing. Cy Thompson comes in and says, we will see. It could be good or bad. Then Zach better show up. Zach better show up because I just think it's like we had the couple of weeks, but we need to, I don't want to go chunks of the season at a time without utilizing, guys like, Wilson and, Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore and if Corey Davis plays, I want to take advantage of our receivers against someone. But also before the end of the year, I'd like to see, Zach stack some games. Passing wise.
Listen, let's say this about Zach. And again, I'm not going to, I'm not a Zach hater in the least, but, I'm also I kind of lean toward the side of I'm not convinced yet that he's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I support him and I think he's great, but he hasn't proven to me that he's the franchise yet. However, Zach's been asked to go out there and win one game for us this year so far. He did that, right?
Yeah.
When we needed him most in Pittsburgh, he put the offense on his back and he won that game. You can't tell me anything different,
Right.
The other games, he hasn't had to, and then and that includes playing Green Bay and Denver, which were, two of the better defenses that we're going to probably face all year outside of, the New England defense, which is Buffalo defense and New England defense.
Yep.
So
Cy Thompson said, I already read this. Thanks again for yet another super chat. You're single-handedly the sponsor of tonight's show. Cy Thompson, you're our sponsor. We love you.
Is it Cy or C? I wonder if it's C.
I'm saying Cy, and he can correct me if it's C. If it's C, put some capital C's in the chat.
I was thinking Spanish because I see the accent marks over some of the vowels. I'm like, is this a Spanish thing that we got going on here?
It might just be like Jeff Thompson.
Man, I should have invested in Rosetta Stone when I had a chance.
Braden's being a little bit more optimistic, by the way. So now we have a Georgia Jets. We have Jets.
Georgie Jets.
Oh, it's Georgie. I thought it was Georgia. I was like, holy cow, we have a Georgia. I've been drafting Robinson if he's a baller. Cool. Yeah,
yes,
I always liked them. My first reaction, I think it was on a promo video I used to play for this channel when I first started, was how do you take running back in the first round after taking Trevor Lawrence when you already have James Robinson? That was my big I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world that they took Etienne, not because I don't think he's a good player or a great player or I don't like him, but because you have James Robinson. Why would you do that? You're a crappy team with a horrible offensive line and had 1,000-yard back. He was like the bright spot of your team. You take Trevor Lawrence, and then with the next pick late in the first round, you go running back. It made no sense to me.
I gotta say this on when I was on Green Bean Stream Monday for the whatever fest. I said they should put a big red asterisk next to the 2021 Jacksonville season because Urban Meyer and Trent Baalke, for that matter, just it seemed like they had no idea what was going on. Urban Meyer wasn't prepared. It was these players were poorly coached. Trent Baalke did whatever he wanted to. I still don't really buy in that Baalke's a great GM. He hasn't wowed me with any personnel decision that he's made in any stop that he's been. Right? He was the guy who chose Solomon Thomas 2 overall, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't
Baalke with the Jets at one time?
I don't know if Yeah, he might have been. I don't know.
I'll look this up because I thought I heard somebody say that he was. I'll check this out.
But that whole 2021 season, for anything Jacksonville related, you can just ball it up and do Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hook shots right into the garbage with it.
He was a scout. He was a scout for the Jets from '98 to 2000. So hey, not very exciting. So yeah, he was with the Jets a quarter century ago.
Who did we draft in 98, 99, and 2000? Let's see.
98. Wouldn't that be Dorian Boose?
I don't remember.
Hey, you know what? I love pulling this stuff up. I'll look it up. Well, 2000 was a great draft.
Was the Chad year, wasn't it?
2000 was the Chad year.
2000 was the Chad year. Okay.
Yeah. I'll look up our draft history. Yeah, but I'm positive 98 was Dorian Boose. It's just a fun name to say out of disgust, isn't it? All right, 2021, 2020. Got to let this whole thing open up. Here we go. Yeah, but you're right. Then he went on to San Francisco and he did draft Solomon Thomas. So yeah, you're exactly right.
Look, Twisted, I hope that we would put Zach in the same situation. We always want to put Zach in the situation, or any team wants to put their quarterback in a situation where they don't have to carry the team, right? There's nothing better than be able to hand the ball off a lot, once in a while, make a pass when you need to, and prevent turnovers and manage the game. If you could win that way, you do it all day long. So I'm not heading down any dark road. It's like I'm just hoping it's the kind of game like the Pittsburgh game. Not that we have to come back in the fourth quarter, but where we get to see something special out of our quarterback. That's all.
I got the draft history here. Just realized I can't name two players on the Jaguars. I got one for you. Foley Fatukasi, our former defensive tackle.
Yeah, how about Fatukasi? Didn't they draft a defensive lineman? Like, who's the first pick of the draft last year?
Walker.
Yeah,
Walker. Is he doing well?
He had a good first game.
Yeah, since then I
haven't seen much of him since. But if you do ever if you ever get into a rabbit hole and you go chasing around YouTube for the Jacksonville Jaguars content creators, they all hate him. They all hate the fact that Balky took him first overall.
I remember when that pick happened, like Jets fans. I remember watching Ryan O'Leary and Green. I mean, we were all celebrating because I didn't want Walker. I think most Jets fans didn't want Trayvon Walker, not because we thought he was a bad player. We just didn't think he was the right fit for this particular defense. But I'll give you a little draft info. 1998. These were our draft picks. I'll just run through them: Dorian Boose, Scott Frost, Kevin Williams, Jason Fabini. That was a good one. Casey Daly, Doug Karczewski, Blake Spence. Well, he did have a big block punt in a playoff game. See, okay, he did one thing well. Eric Bateman, Eric Agbagu, Chris Brazel, Dustin Johnson, who I guess went on to have a great golfing career, and Lawrence Hart. Yikes!
A lot of 19.
Yep, that was our 98 draft. It was rather sad outside of really Fabini. And in 99, we had Randy Thomas. That worked out really well. David Laverne, Jason Wiltz, Jermaine Jones, Mark Megna, J.P. Machado. The only thing about J.P. Machado, Ryan Young. Ryan Young hung around for a little bit. The only thing with J.P. Machado, he's the only player in 50 years the Jets ever drafted from the University of Illinois. So there's a little thing. But, yeah, those drafts were not very good. And then 2000 came along, and that's one of probably the 3 or 4 best draft classes in Jets history. So
Twisted says, "Holy crap, Dom, that chair looks
huge."
I got a few of these down here in my basement. I've been slacking. I started the construction to kind of redo my basement and make my little video office down here, but I've just gotten lazy.
Yeah. So, you guys are talking about Balky from Perfect Strangers. You remember that guy?
Don't be ridiculous.
Cousin Laddie.
I gotta address the elephant in the room. Dom, you're a Mets fan. You have a Marlins hat on. What's up?
I have actual caps for all major league teams, and this one just happened to be downstairs.
All right.
That's it. I mean, I got Phillies caps, I got a Braves cap. You know, I don't wear them too much, but yeah, I have caps. I love the fitted cap. So every year for Father's Day, my kids get me one. So now it's a thing. Now I got to get all the hats.
My favorite is when I see people like in this area where I live, because where I live in Southeast Virginia, you don't really have pro teams. We got minor league hockey and baseball, but with all the military that we have here, people are here from all over the country. So people just will wear whatever. And I see this one guy the other day wearing a Montreal Expos hat. I said, can you name 3 people who ever played for the Expos? I said, just be honest. Do you like the Expos or is it for the looks? He's like, yeah, it's for the looks. I'm like, I know it's for the look. I just can never get behind that idea that I'm going to wear another team just because it matches the rest of my clothes. I'm matching my clothes to match the hat I'm wearing. I do it the other way around. But that's just me. It's like, okay, I wear my black Jets hat. Okay, black T-shirt, black sneakers. That's exactly it. I base it around the hat first, not the hat to the clothes. So
Gotcha.
that's why y'all came here tonight for late night fashion tips. You're welcome, everybody.
Cy Thompson with another super chat. Our sponsor of the show tonight would like to say, Zach will surprise us this week. Feeling the due this week. Oh, you're feeling like he's due this week. That's what I'm hoping. Look, as long as he's a question mark, because I'm not convinced. I believe in him, and everybody knows I'm a huge Zach Wilson fan, and I'm really excited about his potential. But I'm not sitting here saying it's done. We got a franchise quarterback. I mean, it's a question mark, and I'm concerned. And if you watch me in the watch parties with Green Bean, it comes out of me all the time, right? Like, how many times have you seen me like fall off and like start to wander down to that dark place where I'm like, I don't know if this is the guy. He's, so the question mark is still there. But I will say this: he's had some shine. Like, there's been some beautiful shining moments, but there's also been moments of concern. And it's like, which Zach is he going to be? Is he going to be the guy that rises and becomes the guy that has those bright spots and gets more consistent? Or is he going to be the guy that regresses and, eventually loses confidence because he keeps making the same mistakes? Because we've seen that happen. So, but it's nice that he has those flashes, though, because if he didn't have those flashes, I think it would be, at this point, we'd all like just be tearing our hair out, if I had hair.
I will say, you got that beard back fast, man.
I know, right? It's crazy. Dom C has a beautiful head of hair. When we met him in New Jersey, right? I was like, who's that guy with that beautiful head of hair?
Listen,
how can I get some?
It might be going gray early, but thinning it will never.
I'm kind of in the same boat. Yeah, it's when I got to go to the barbershop, I like get the water ready because my hair is about to just drink it for breakfast. It's got no shot. You're gonna need something stronger than water.
Jay Oaks is saying something hilarious. He's saying, I remember when Balky was on coke and he ratted on his supplier. He's talking about Beverly Hills Cop. He played the guy that worked in the art place. You want an espresso? You have espresso? Don't be ridiculous. Of course we have espresso.
Guys, I got to take off.
All right.
So I'm going to cut out. But I appreciate you having me on, man.
Thanks for all you do. We appreciate it.
You want to tell anybody anything? Should they be looking for you somewhere?
Yeah. So I got an article coming out tomorrow on Joe Douglas. It'll be out in greenbeanjetsfan.com bright and early in the morning. You can always catch me on Twitter, and you can always catch me popping in and out of all these fabulous YouTube content providers streams. Get up on me with Twitter on Twitter at DC_NY Jets. And that's it, man. Have fun. Go Jets.
I love it. Thank you so much, Dom. Again, you killed it for us. We really appreciate it. awesome tape.
Always a
And now,
pleasure,
and,
man. Always
and
a pleasure.
I can't wait till he plays for the when he plays and plays with the Jets, and we could point out how the Jets are using him and see the similarities. It's gonna be cool. So we should definitely have that happen in the future, where we look at some tape of him on the Jets.
Absolutely. You say the word, man.
I love it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, brother.
All right.
I like John Nolte. Adam's hair is loaded with hot dog juice. You know
I
what?
know,
It
I
actually
saw that.
it makes it much more voluminous. That's what it's really all about. I'm just all about the volume at this point.
Well, in spirit of you, I was in the Safeway out here in California. I'd never seen it before. I never saw. The only time I ever saw a Sabrett product that I saw Sabrett was with the red onion sauce. Like I remember seeing it in a gourmet, like fancier marketplace, and I got all excited. But I found Boar's Head, and I have Boar's Head, cold cuts and hot dogs, but I haven't seen Sabrett hot dogs out here. And I was in this frozen section, and they had Sabrett hot dogs in a blanket, and it was Sabrett brands, and I just had to buy a box, and I thought of you, Adam. So what you should have done is
you should have thought of my dad. My dad's the one who's all about the Sabrett hot dogs.
the hot dog that you ate every $25 of super chat
should
have been. You didn't say full hot. You could have done little cocktail.
I know. By the last one, I was like, "Can I rip this thing in half and make it count?"
Well, I'm thinking that maybe next week I should say, like, for every $10 of super chat, I'll eat a hot dog in a blanket. And then so this way maybe I'll have to eat like 20 of them or something. And that's something that's reasonable, but also would be fun for everyone to watch. And I could use Knobcraft's spicy mustard that he sent me.
What's really good are those Nathan's pretzel dogs. Those are good.
They had those two right next to it.
Those are mean good. You little brown mustard on those guys. Oh my gosh, those things are addictive.
I'm not kidding you. They were right next to him in the freezer, the same. And I actually thought about it for a second. Well, I said,
perfect place for him.
They have Nathan's. Which one?
I gotta think some more food idea. I don't know what more food ideas would be, whether it be wings or something, or we talked about slices of pizza, but you gotta kind of figure that one out in terms of how much. But yeah, we're thinking maybe just for the chat, maybe doing something once a month, something kind of crazy, just for everybody's entertainment. Your viewing pleasure and our physical or mental anguish. So
I'll tell you what, if Knobcraft ever labels and actually starts selling hot sauce, I mean, I can't say it, like, I got to be careful the wording I use so YouTube doesn't ping me, but I will for free be like such a big sponsor of his. Like
Knobcraft killer sauce.
Like, he has no idea, like, because he did that for me. If he starts selling it, I will put the link up to the website. I will show, like, look, his sauces are good. Like, it's impressive that he made these hot sauces, but like the mustard one is so good, because the mustard one it gives the attributes of mustard, right? So when you don't need mustard now on the hot dog, like, it's not just a little like mustard or like Chinese mustard in the packets that is just fire and it's that awful burn. It's actually like, it gives you the flavor of mustard for your hot dog, but it gives you some kick. It gives you some heat, not too much heat that it makes you uncomfortable or ruins the meal, So it's really a wonderful thing. So I will help him sell that if he bottles it. I will.
Yeah, especially with a hot dog, you don't want it so hot that it overwhelms. You want to add flavor to it, but you don't want the hot dog to overwhelm. By the way, I got my party hat on, everybody. So
our friend Grandizer is here.
Hey, Grandizer, I haven't seen you in a while.
I saw him on Payo Time show. He moderates for a lot of people. He's a great guy. He also sent his condolences or whatever is. He was not happy to see the Brees Hall thing. So he told us, he's class act. He was like, hey, I'm really sorry to see that and all that. So, but we got James Robinson, which Grandizer also thought was a good move. So he was complimentary of that as well.
No doubt about it.
So it's the only part of playing the Dolphins. like in beating them. Like if we win again, like if we were to beat them, I'd be so happy. Except the one thing that ruins it a little bit is Grandizer, who's such a big help to this channel and such a good friend. I know is, obviously having his team lose, and for him personally, not that I would, I know it's a rivalry and everything, and I only root for the Jets, but for him personally, that's the one thing I'd be happy about. Like if the Dolphins win a Super Bowl, as angry as we'd be as Jet fans, I would be happy for Grandizer. I truly would. Like
That's
part
fair.
of
I
me,
mean,
at
yeah,
least
we got a
my
few.
friend is happy.
Yeah, Grandizer right now. Grandizer needs a sympathizer. So, but there are some decent Dolphin fans. I mean, we got a few here in the area, but Nolte, you're so right. That was the one thing that I didn't have on those hot dogs was the casing, because I went skinless, because if you buy the hot dogs with the casing, you're going to be spending about another 80 to 90 cents a hot dog, and that adds up. It's really true. Like you'll buy a pack of 5, the natural casing dogs down here, and it's like almost $9 a pack nowadays.
Yeah, but it's not even an option. Like I think I gotta look. I think the frozen ones might have the casing, but the Boar's Head hot dogs have the casing. There's no such thing, and
Right.
like I don't understand how anybody would ever like. I'm financially, yes. I mean, I pay $10 for 7 Boar's Head hot dogs, which is not a lot when you consider it like the difference of buying it in a restaurant or something like that. But it's a lot when you're in a supermarket buying something. Like I'm buying one package of hot dogs and it's $10. But when you live out here in Sacramento, you do
take
those
what you
things.
can get. Yeah,
You do that when you do those things because it's a taste of home.
That's
Like to
close
come
as
home
it
with
gets.
Boar's Head hot dogs. It's exciting for my wife. Like it's not just we're having hot dogs for dinner. It's like I got Boar's Head. It's like woo,
Have a good night, Iowa. Iowa Jets fans taking off.
Oh, take care. Good night, buddy.
Yeah, I'm
Good
kind
night,
of the same
buddy.
way. Like for me, I'll go to Harris Teeter on occasion because that's where you get some of the best stuff. That's where I can get those types of Nathan's hot dogs. I can't get them at another store like, say, a Food Lion or a Kroger, which is what we have down here. I could get Home Run and Pizza, which is a Chicago-based tavern-style pizza that I really like. Although I had one 2 nights ago with the pepperoni and sausage, and I thought I was going to die. I got to take a break from those pizzas for a while. But you can get those things. That's where I found the Taylor ham / pork roll. That's where I found it was in Harris Teeter. So, yeah, they got some specialty items. And it's like, I don't want to go there for all my shopping, but for certain items, the Locatelli grated Romano cheese that, you, Green Bean, and I were talking about, that's where I find it. So, yeah, thank God for Harris Teeter, man. They got some good stuff down there.
Yeah, John Nolte points out the old hot dog thing about the buns never match the hot dogs. So if you buy 8 packages of 7 8 packages of 7 for Boar's Head hot dogs, that's 56, and then you buy 7 packages of the hot dog buns, and you have the perfectly even 56 buns, 56 hot dogs, and then you have Adam, me. And maybe we get Green Bean, and the 3 of us just knock them all down.
The 3 of us can knock them out. Yeah, the three of us.
You make it with Chinese mustard, but you make the mustard taste better. Because when you just taste Chinese mustard out of a packet, but maybe that's how you add the heat. I don't know. But whatever it is, man, I love that bottle. Every time I eat hot dogs, knish, anything that goes good with mustard, ham sandwich, bologna sandwich, I got the Knobcraft hot mustard.
I got to ask you a question.
You're going to kill Green Bean. Why?
I think it means that in a good way.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have an opinion on putting mustard on a hamburger?
I don't mind. Look, when I eat a McDonald's hamburger, the first time I had one and I noticed there was mustard, because when I grew up in Brooklyn, I never noticed mustard on a McDonald's hamburger. I don't know if it's because it wasn't there or I just didn't know. Honestly, in my neighborhood, we had a Burger King in Canarsie, and the McDonald's was very far away. And as a kid, I had no way to get there, so I rarely had McDonald's anyway. But it was actually on a Burger King hamburger. Actually, not McDonald's. It was a Burger King hamburger in Port Jervis, New York. We had a house in the Poconos, and we would drive over to Port Jervis because there was a big shop right in James Way. There was a Burger King. We got a hot dog. We got hamburgers, and there was mustard on them. And my brother freaked out. My middle Matthew was just like, "What the hell? What the f?"
That's
blah,
awesome.
blah, blah. He flipped out. and I ate it, and it's like I was only upset because he, like at the end of the day, it didn't ruin the hamburger for me. And now when there's mustard on a cheeseburger or a hamburger from McDonald's or Burger King, it doesn't bother me. Like I
For
wouldn't
me,
put it on
yeah.
myself when I make hamburgers. I've never put mustard on it with the ketchup. But when it's already on, like in a fast food restaurant, I don't care.
And I don't
Like
do
it
ketchup. And it's weird
doesn't-
for me because I don't do ketchup. I am not a ketchup guy, which is weird. But for me, yellow mustard, I agree. Yellow mustard to me is hot dogs. That's it. But the spicy brown mustard, especially if you use a pretzel roll for the burger, it works really, really well. It complements it for me, like some bacon, caramelized onions, cheddar cheese. A little spicy brown mustard actually works very well on it. It really works. So
Yeah.
if I go to Five Guys, I don't go to Five Guys a lot, but when I do, I'm getting the mustard. That's pretty much my one like sauce or spread that I use. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't get overreact to things. Like I don't have a lot of rules. So like for example, it's the same thing with like pineapple on pizza. People either hate it or they love it and they fight and they fight and they fight. I would never order it because you know me, Adam, when you saw me, like when we were together, I was like insisted, like when we got the pie, what are we gonna get? We got half with the peppers and the sausage and half plain.
The sausage and the caliber, the spicy cherry
and the reason we
peppers,
did that was and I would have been fine if you said let's only get plain, but we wanted to test some heat. We wanted to we knew it was going to be high quality, they put on it, but I insisted I need 4 plain slices because I have to taste the pizza as a purist. So I would never order a pizza in a place, especially that has really good pizza, with pineapple and ham. Like I'm not into that. I might get black olives. Sometimes they get a sausage and mushroom pie, and the peppers like that we got. But if I go into my staff room and the principal ordered some pizzas for us, and I grab a few slices, and it happens to be the ham and pineapple slices, I don't care. I eat it. You know what I mean?
I'll start picking off.
No, I don't do that. I mean, the only thing I can't eat on pizza is salads. I've seen that, and that's gross. The mac and cheese pizza is gross, and I can't do anchovies.
Have you had mac and cheese pizza in Wisconsin?
No, I never had it. I never had it.
Oh, yeah. I would say I've had some mac and cheese pizza with bacon in Milwaukee. Whew. I'll tell you what, that is like the ultimate depression food right there, is mac and cheese pizza with bacon on it, Thanks, John. All right. I'm not sure what I'll do. At Restaurant Depot, I'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
I'll have to think that over. Yeah, for me, it's weird because I don't mind the deep dish. Living in Chicago for 20 years, I'm good with deep dish maybe like 2-3 times a year, and that's about it. Deep dish pizza to me is like the biscuits and gravy of dinner. You eat it, you're wiped out, and you won't be able to move for about a half hour. Your back might start to hurt a little bit. It's like deep dish tastes great in the moment, but afterwards it's like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is pretty cool. But with the deep dish, I want a lot of toppings. Thin crust New York style, I maybe like 2 toppings at the most. It's like, keep it simple there,
Yeah. Well, with all that being said, hey guys, so happy you joined us tonight. What a great show. I want to thank all of you in the chat. Obviously, we're going to thank our sponsor, Cy Thompson. You were amazing tonight. There were some other super chats, so
thank you.
Thank you to you too, to you guys too. Thank you for everyone, though. I appreciate everyone. You don't have to do super chats to be appreciated and loved. Just being here, supporting the channel. If you hit the like button, if you like the show, I appreciate that even more. If you haven't subbed up and you like the show, definitely sub up to the channel. I appreciate all of that. All of it supports the channel. But I also do a shout out to all my snackers out there. Love you guys for doing that. That's always really nice. Remember, guys, if you go to my homepage, there's a little join button now. And that join to become a member, you get some options of what member you want to become. And I think he's putting it. I think Grandizer's putting in the chat too. So he always talks about it. But anyway, If you become a snacker, one of my snackers at any level, the light snacker is just a couple of bucks a month. What that does for me is gives me a consistent revenue stream to pay for like ongoing subscriptions, things like that. It really helps the channel because it's like that consistent kind of predictable flow of money. And it's a great way for you guys just to show it's a great compliment to us that you're loyal to the channel. So that's always nice if you want to do that. And you get your chat. I try to get your chats called out with some priority. You get extra emoticons that you could use. There's a pizza one and a couple of other things, but you get a couple of things and stuff like that. And pretty much anything you ask of me, really, if you're a member, you could just say, hey, I'm a member. Can you have me on for a few minutes? Anything you ask, I'm not going to say no to my members. So, but super chats, members, or just simple subscribers that come and watch the videos, come into our shows, whether you participate in the chat or not, whether you watch the shows live or not, we love you all. You're what makes the channel work, and we appreciate you. And before we go, I'm going to pass it over to Adam because we need to be supporting his channel, New York Sports Wikimedia, and he's going to tell you about it.
I'm actually excited. I literally got a notification during the show that I'm now able to write posts on the channel and do polls now. So little by little, this thing is growing, man. I love doing it. I try to put out, multiple videos a week, like on average, maybe one a day. Sometimes I put out 2 a day. If something moves me, I'm going to talk about it, even if it's just a short. I put a short video up. I laid out some rather alarming Jets versus Patriots stats. Don't know, Jeremy, if you happen to see them yet, but we talk about how the Jets haven't beaten the Patriots since 2015. Well, I talked about the point differential since that time, and I actually revealed how long it's been since we beat the Patriots in regulation during the regular season. So that was just a little 60-second video. I like doing these short videos sometimes. But, every week I do my routine with football. Today's Wednesday, so tomorrow's Thursday. I'll put up my confidence picks. No mayo. Thank you very much. I will put – not a mayo guy. I will put up my confidence picks Thursday night just in time for the Thursday night game. I'm going to rate the winners of every game, pick a winner. We're going to do the game preview, which I really do for the Virginia Jets fans, but anybody can watch it. Going to break down the key players, the stats, the matchups, all of it. And then we do the 3 key plays you might not recall that affected the outcome of the game. I do that on Sunday nights. And, there's Mets content, there's Rangers content. I had a pretty good, the way things are going, I'll have a pretty good Rangers rant coming up very soon because right now they are disgusting. And hey, my father is coming up this week. Pa 2K will be here. We'll be watching some Rangers games together, and he's going to be joining me at AJ Gators for Jets Patriots, and Green Bean's going to be there too. We're having the Halloween costume contest, and the winner of the costume contest at AJ Gators, their prize is going to be a replica New York Jets Super Bowl ring. A Super Bowl ring, yes, for the best contest. So that's the type of stuff that we do. We do this stuff and we do it right because, we literally even open a bank account for the Virginia Jets fans. So we literally are now money in the bank.
I love it.
But I'm just excited about all these different things that are happening. And I hope we get a chance to chat again, to do another show again before Sunday comes along because, man, what a week this could be. What a week it
could be. All right, everybody. Oh, I hope. Let it happen. Thanks for coming, everybody. Again, we appreciate it. Now, I will leave you with, even though I said I wouldn't, no, I can't use that one. No, I want to use that one because my brother's here.
It's not your boy. Not your boy anymore.
Just ignore the first few seconds of this one, okay, guys? Oh, yeah. yeah. Go. Amazing. That's my boy. That's my boy.
Breaks away from a sack and completes the pass for first down.
Oh, Kittle just may have made the most amazing catch.
He fights for the first down and gets out of bounds too.
It's no good.
Overtime.
Oh, what a catch. How do you drop that? What are you, Jamal Adams? Touchdown.
This is a touchdown all the way.
He reached over the pylon. San Francisco beat Cincinnati.